about it?
Oh, I forgot to do my dance when we got back in.
Yeah. Welcome everybody to Panfish Nation. Along with Mark, I'm Lyle. Mark, we got a great guest tonight. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Got a lot of topics to talk to Caleb with. So, Caleb, we're sure glad to have you on here with us tonight.
I appreciate having me back on. It's been a while since I've been on a show.
It has. We was talking earlier. You're getting ready to turn over 100,000 subs. That is a major thing for any guy that does YouTube work. It's just a big deal. And you was not that close to that the last time.
You know what? I can't even remember.
I think you were closer to 15,000 when we had you.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I want to say 7,000, but I'm saying 15 to be safe.
I'm thinking when I first started watching his video, and I've watched him for a long time, that he was around 1,000. And I thought, this guy's got a shot at something great. And lo and behold, for once I was correct. You've really done well.
I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, it's kind of just taken off over the past, couple of years, year and a half. People seem to really like the videos, the informative side of it, and people love them some crappie and big bluegill. I mean, they really love it.
They do, and you're successful at it. You do a lot of stuff from the bank. You do a lot of stuff from the boat, and it's just a rounded out, all around great series that you put together, and it's paying off for you now.
I really appreciate that.
So, and you're still teaching.
Yes, sir. I'm actually going into my 10th year of Texas education here in about 2 weeks. So,
wow.
Yeah, I'm trying to enjoy these last couple of weeks. Having to get out there early and get off early because it's been so hot. We're going to have some relief here in the next week and a half, or well below average temperatures, but
that's true.
It's supposed to be a lot of rain here in Texas. So I don't know if that's going to keep me from getting on the water, but we're sure find out.
Absolutely. Yeah. You will. You'll enjoy that cooler weather.
Yeah, we've been getting a ton of rain here too. They closed the river down. I couldn't even go. I woke up this morning at like 3:30, looked at my phone. It was like, I'm going back to bed. It's done. Wow. I can't get out there. So
yeah, it's been we've been having, of course, nothing like what you have down there probably, but we've been having a lot of 95 and up temperature, nothing around 100 yet, but it's been in the mid 90s for the last couple of weeks. Right. So this next stretch, they're talking about high 70s and mid 80s for the next 10 days, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think that that this cold front that's pushed through, it's pretty much sweeping across the whole nation.
I think so, yeah.
I want to say so. We're talking very unusual cold front, especially one of this magnitude to come through, mid-July or so. So I mean, today the high was 98, felt like 105, 106. I had a guy trip this morning. We got out there about 6:30 and got off by 11:30. It got too hot. Yeah, I mean, you always want to be safe and stay healthy. Being out there, and today there was actually a small breeze, and I mean 7, 8, 9 mile an hour wind. I'll take that any day out there, because if there is absolutely zero wind, as soon as it touches 90, 92, it's unbearable.
It is. And what part of Texas are you in?
I'm in Northeast Texas.
Northeast, okay.
The Piney Woods, as they say.
That's the time I spent down there was in West Texas, and
right,
it was dry and hot all the time.
Yeah, we have a different heat over here. It's humid where I am. So it could be 90 degrees, but it feel like 105. I mean, because of the humidity. It's almost like a tropical rainforest, how it feels. It's just crazy, but
I would melt. I don't know how you guys deal with that stuff. I always complain about the heat that Lyle has. I can only imagine what it's like down there. That's ridiculous.
Lived here my whole life. It's just part of it. As soon as typically, early May, it can start getting in, or 90s, but the humidity is typically not as bad. But as soon as June hits, it's humid and it's rough. I mean,
what kind of water temperatures are you seeing?
Right now we have our surface temp. I got out there today. It was 88.
That's warm enough.
I got off. It was right at 90. I tell you what, we had Burl come through, and before Burl, our surface temp was right at 92. Burl came through and it dropped to 84.
Oh,
the surface temp. And I tell you what, I don't know if that confused the crappie, made them kind of roam around with that, cooler water temps, because before Burl came through, they were stuck to brush and stacked up, and it was really good fishing. Ever since Burl came through, the water temp dropped a little bit, and the fishing hasn't been as good. So I actually like it when it's hot, because if it's hot, then I know that these crappie will be stacked up on brush, and it's game over.
When you're fishing brush piles like that, how many fish are you typically getting off of one brush pile?
It depends. I had a client come through a couple of weeks ago. He caught 18 off one pile.
Oh, okay.
I think Monday I caught a limit. I hit 4 brush piles and caught a limit on Monday. I think 15 came off one pile.
What is your limit down there?
25 per person per day, 10 inches.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
That's the whole state of Texas too, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, there may be 1 or 2 exceptions, maybe on some core lakes or something like, just kind of weird exception here and there. But for the most part, it's 25 per person per day.
That's all you have to clean it one whack anyhow.
Do what now?
I said, I don't want to clean no more than that any one time.
That's a lot of fish. That's a lot of fish. I'll tell you what, the week before last, I had 2 trips on Tuesday, Thursday, and both set of clients caught 45 each day. And I had to clean 45 on Tuesday, 45 on Thursday. That's a lot of cleaning right there. That definitely adds to the day. I tell you what.
Jason Jackson's a friend of mine, lives in St. Louis. He used to be a guide down there. He doesn't do it any longer, but he said the easiest way to have to keep from cleaning fish is just tell them you don't clean fish. They have to clean their own. He said they throw them all back.
Right.
He guides for catfish though. He says you just tell them you don't clean fish, and most of them are traveling from out of town. They're not going to bother cleaning fish when they're down there on a trip. So they just throw them all back. That's the way I would want to do it.
All right. I'm going to share this live real quick.
Excellent.
To all my people.
Okay. While you're doing that, Mark, what do you say we welcome everybody in chat?
I will. As soon as I can get off of this screen, I hit a button here. If you guys are wondering, I'm streaming from my phone today. Having some computer issues. We're in the process of getting that all taken care of. So let me say hello to everybody. Mike Irvin in the house. What's going on, Mike? How you doing, bud? I see 922 Crappie Barbecue. How you doing? What's going on, bud? I also see 205 Wild Action. He's a channel supporter. Thanks for your support, 205. Benoit Fishing Outdoors here every week lately. What's going on, young ladies? Bugman 22 made it on time today. We're proud of you, Buggy. Greg Burgess said hello, Lyle and Mark, and 903. Good to see you guys, he says. See what else we got. That's all that we got talking to chat. If you're in chat, speak up and we'll holler you out during the show.
Rich crappie is hard to beat.
Very hard.
Kind of like them myself.
What's y'all's favorite way to eat crappie?
I thought the only way you could eat them was fried.
I like to eat, my favorite way to eat crappies with my fingers.
I figured that much, Mark.
There's one outdoors.
If it isn't with a side of taters, it's in a taco shell, or in a tortilla shell. So that's what I really like.
I'm pretty fond of mine being deep fried, but then I like fried potatoes too. So
I mean, fried crappie is just it's the worst for you, but it is hard to beat some fresh fried crappie that you caught from the lake that day.
Yeah.
Never frozen. Oh my gosh.
Well,
crappie
you know what I've started doing, Caleb, is I leave them in the cooler overnight. They're easier to clean. They seem to taste a little better the next day, and that seems to work. But if I'm cleaning them, I'm usually cooking whatever I need for dinner, and the rest go in a Ziploc bag, not in a vacuum seal bag, and they'll usually stay pretty good. But I'll make them all different sorts of ways. I make them blackened. I like them fried with beer batter. I like them with corn flour. The whole deal with Betty Jean's secret recipe. We got some of that going on. If you don't know, you should.
Right. Yeah, I tell you what, I actually if I'm keeping fish for myself, I like to put them on ice, and I'm talking about thick ice for till the next day. Like you said, when you clean them, that blood stops flowing. It's there's hardly any. I mean, there's still a mess, but nothing compared to as not.
And the meat's firm.
Meat is really firm, and I tell a lot of people that I keep mine in the cooler with ice till the next day.
Yeah.
Now
I have a super picky wife, super picky. So this is what I do to make her happy. I mean, picky on the. We're not going to get into it. She's just picky. I'll bleed them out, throw them in a bucket when I get back, bleed them out, and rinse them out with water, just a whole, right? Make sure all the blood's out. Then I'll put them on ice overnight. Once I get them filleted, which is usually pretty easy when they're nice and firm, I throw them in a glass bowl, run them under cold water till that runs clean, and then I drizzle water over them for a while until the fillets are white as paper. That's how I get to do it for her. Now, a lot of people don't like that because they say they lose a lot of that fish flavor going on. But, you can make up for that with seasoning, which keeps her happy, and it keeps me happy, and it keeps me fishing for him. So that's how I do it.
Ryan Bort says he prefers his in the bait cooler where they belong. And that's correct. On ice.
So, I'm starting to think that Ryan does not even like fish.
How do you mean that?
Like to eat.
He talking about using crappie for bait.
Yeah.
He probably is, yeah. I cannot do that.
That hurts.
I know.
That hurts, man. Hey, I know it's legal. It's legal in some states. It's not legal here to use game fish.
It's not legal in Missouri either, but those guys, I just can't do it. They taste too damn good. I can't.
No, I would never. Yeah, hey, 922 Crappie BBQ said, Ryan, them fighting words. Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
I don't use big bluegill either. If they're big enough to put a fillet knife on, they come home.
Yep.
The smaller ones I use for bait, for flatheads and stuff.
Yeah, I'll use those smaller ones for I don't do much catfishing, but every now and then I'll put some on some jug lines or some noodles, Them blues and flatheads, they love them some live bait.
Oh yeah.
I'll use the heads when I'm done cleaning them. Sometimes I'll save some of them, but I usually do better with bluegill anyways than live bait in my neck of the woods. So
that's I would much rather use bass, which I'm not allowed to use bass either. But I'd rather use them than crappie for bait.
Amen.
I can use bass, and I have used bass, so I'm happy with that.
I can't. They won't let me, and I don't want to pay no tickets. I don't want to give the government no more money than I got to.
Right.
They kick pretty good on a 4-ounce float. They do pretty well, I gotta say.
I'm pretty sure they do. Brian says legal is a relative term used loosely. He's a hoot.
The thing is, people do stuff all the time, but when you're videoing and stuff like we are,
yep,
you can't do that. I mean, not that I would, but you can't do that stuff, You
get persecuted.
Oh, God.
Eat you alive.
Well, I mean, who would want to record them breaking the law and then posting it?
You couldn't. They come get you.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
They just get you.
Or word gets out on your home lake that you're doing that kind of shady stuff, and it never ends well at all.
That is correct.
I already got everybody watching me for my spots anyway, so they keep a close eye on me. So
same.
Understand all about that.
I've had people follow me from the boat ramp.
Yep.
Trying to get them brush piles, man.
Yeah, that's I don't know about Texas, Caleb, but in Missouri, the Missouri Department of Conservation, which is not really a government entity, they're separate from other state-run stuff. They go out and put out brush piles for crappie and other fish, and they make that information available to you on their website. So you can actually get them coordinates, download it into your computer or however you want to do it, and go to them places and catch fish.
Right.
And they tell you when they put them in there, so you know how long they've been there. Because let's face it, one that was put in last month probably isn't going to produce as good as one that's put in a couple of years ago.
Right. Now, I don't know, man. I've heard about, I don't know if that depends on the lake, but I know people that put in brush and shoot, a week later there's fish on it.
Really?
No, I'm serious. I'm being dead serious. I myself, I've put out a couple brush piles. Now, I haven't seen that quick of a turnaround personally, but I know guys over here on Palestine and Tyler that they put brush out, and it's quick. It's fairly quick.
Yeah, a lot of them are not. Especially, and catfish are the worst. If you have a tree fall in the lake or the river you fish, and if that first year, you'd be lucky to catch anything off of it. But the second, third, fourth year, the longer it's in there, the longer that wood's in there, the better it will become as far as a fish holding structure.
Right. Algae gets to build up on it, and
and the minnows come looking. Yep. Right. Ryan Board says that brush is hard on a cast net.
Quit throwing it in there.
Yeah, but Texas has that same situation that you're talking about. They actually they go out, drop artificial structure, and they'll have those coordinates online, and you can go out, and I mean, it's not, from what I've seen, it's not just a lot of brush artificial piles. There's a few here and there throughout the lake, but I'm pretty sure that I never say that new lake in Texas, right? Lake Bodart. I'm pretty sure that they dropped artificial structure in there, and they already have those posted. And that lake's only been open a few months, and I've seen some good fishing off of it so far. It's about I want to say it's about a 2.5-3 hour drive from me. I may try to get up there, just fish a new lake, see what the hype's about. But they do have that available on Texas Parks and Wildlife.
I have places here that you can drop off. They have Christmas tree drop-offs. The Department of Conservation has places set up that after Christmas is over, you can drop, and they'll use that for structure. Now, granted, cedar trees and spruces and stuff, they don't last as long as some of the other structure, but it's a great way to get rid of something you're going to throw away anyhow, and you might as well put it to good use. And then they'll go out and they'll set it, use concrete blocks to anchor them usually, and they may go back to the same place and put them in there, and they may start new ones. It just depends on what's going on. So, but that's a great way to utilize something that's going to be thrown away, and it keeps them being thrown out in the ditches and on people's property and stuff like that, because that happens every year. And this way, you can just take it to a drop-off point. They're happy to get it. They'll use it, and it benefits all of us.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
The couple of places that do it up, I mean, they just drag them out on the ice in January, and they wait till spring for them to fall in. Plain and simple.
That's not a bad idea, but we don't get as much ice as you do. But they got Department of Conservation in Missouri. They got plenty of boats and stuff, and they just load them up and take them out and drop them off. Usually in coves. But it's just anything like that we can make fishing better. I'm all for. Because crappie's not the only thing it uses in brush pile.
Nope.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Catch catfish, bass,
white bass, yellow bass,
a lot of different species off of those brush piles.
You bet. How many different species you usually catch a day when you go?
Typically 4. I'd say crappie, catfish, largemouth, bluegill. I mean, you could catch one of those. I mean, of course, catch more crappie than anything off of those brush piles, but you can catch 1 of 4 of those species at any time of the day. I mean, it's the other Monday when I went, I caught 2 5-pound channel cats, probably within about 4 or 5 casts of each other. I know it wasn't the same fish, but I mean, you just never know what you're going to catch. And that's one thing that I love about it. And y'all know I don't use live scope, so I really don't know what I'm going to catch. So that's just kind of that thrill of not knowing what's, the anticipation of what's going to bite when that cork goes under and you set the hook. Because, right when you set that hook, if it just, dives down or the drag starts peeling, it's more than likely not a crappie. You got your catfish or your bass. If that end of that rod's twitching, it's probably going to be a catfish. If it kind of comes up to the surface a little bit, doesn't dig deep, then it's probably going to be a bass. So, but you just never know what you're going to catch, and that's one thing that keeps me going all the time.
One of my favorite things you used to do, and I'm sure you still do it, is creek fishing small creeks and go in, find a piece of structure and catching a whole bunch of fish off of a limb sticking up out of the water. And them are some of the greatest videos. You used to do a lot of. I haven't seen any recently, and I try to watch them all, but I can only spend so much time a day watching videos. I do have other stuff to do.
Right.
But I love those.
That's typically in the fall, winter, spring type ordeal when those crappie go into the creeks. So, I'm looking forward to, let me see, October. I'm to the point not that I'm getting tired of it, but I've gotten to the point where I'm just tired of going to the lake and just slip cork and brush pile. Just slip cork brush, deep brush pile. And, a lot of people, I try to mix up my content and have a subject about, we're going to talk about this today specifically, but eventually you wait for the season to change. And I'm already there. And the bad part is I still have another couple of 2 months of this. So I got to try to be creative. But you know what? That's part of being a content creator is, keeping your audience informed and, you just never know what you're going to bring to the table that day. So it's going to be all right, but I'm definitely ready for that creek bite. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, you're definitely good at it. And I know it's a grind. I know you're pumping out a lot of content. You had mentioned, I had no idea you were guiding too. So I didn't know that. And teaching. When do you sleep and getting married? Congratulations, by the way. When do you sleep?
That's a great question. It's a great question, Mark. You know what? I typically guide 2 days a week. What I tried to do is I tried to figure out, how can I make a little extra money on the side here, because it's summertime. So I got a full 2 months off. So I decided to go ahead and start guiding Tuesday and Thursdays in June and July only. Early May, I opened up June and July, and I did this last year as well. So I had a couple of repeat, customers that fished with me last summer, and within about 2 to 3 weeks, I had 2 months booked. I mean,
that's awesome.
Straight up booked, and then I usually leave Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Not necessarily I go all 3 of those days, but I try to go at least 2 of those days out of the week for YouTube content, to make YouTube content. And then honestly, I try to stay off the water during the weekends, because the lake that I fish, man, it is really a recreational lake retirement. Got a lot of grandkids and their grandpa's $80,000-$90,000 pontoon running around and drinking and just carefree people. And it's not safe out there when you have that many. I definitely don't want clients out there on the weekend with me in my boat, no. So I try to keep everything during the week, and then in the evenings and in the on the weekends is when I do my editing. So I'm full, it actually hit me yesterday. I said, you know what? I'm ready to go back to school.
Yeah.
I've been out for about 6 weeks now, and I miss my students. This is going to be my 6th year at the same school. So I actually have my kindergartners. My first year there, are going to be in 5th grade. So I've been able to see them grow, and I'm just ready. I'm ready to go back to school, man. I love summertime. It's awesome, but at the same time, I think God's put me in a position to teach these kids, and that's what I'm meant to do, and that's what I'm ready to do.
Sweet.
I love hearing that. That's
that's amazing, because there's a lot of teachers that don't have that attitude. I promise you, they really.
Yeah,
and I don't mean to be disrespectful.
No, I understand.
It's a fact,
right?
You recently got another boat.
I did.
Can you tell us about that?
I have, I'll tell you a little bit about it. I actually have a reveal video coming out tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. But this right here, gentlemen, this is, I never thought in 1,000 years I would have anything to this caliber. But it's just a couple of specs on it. It's a 2008 Nitro. It's very well kept. Original carpet in it. It looks good. There's a couple of spots here and there, but it's got a 175 Mercury Optimax on the back of it. Ultrex trolling motor. I have my Humminbird Helix 12 on it, and then I have another Helix 7 for mapping. Then I got my Helix 7 up front for downscan. So when I throw those buoy markers, I go ahead and go back over it up front with the Ultrex, just to make sure to get a better eyeball on where that brush pile is. But I got it wrapped. All my sponsors pitched in and got the boat wrapped for me. And it's a blessing. I never thought I would have anything like that. My other little my bass tracker that I had, a lot of people don't know this, but I'm not going to say any names, but that boat was actually given to me by a subscriber up in Oklahoma. And I'll be honest with you, though, there was, no electronics on it, no trolling motor. The motor had a lot of issues with it, but I ended up driving. I think it was November of 21. I drove up there, and this gentleman that watched my channel, and he said he had just bought a brand new boat, and he said he felt like the Lord gave it to him, or the Lord gave him this new boat to give me his old boat. So he literally just signed over the title to the motor and everything to me right there on the spot. and I brought it down here to Texas. And honestly, it sat in my parents' driveway for a while. I didn't have the money to do anything to it. But eventually, I saved up some money and got the motor looked at, and got me a little trolling motor on there and fish finders. I just little by little, I just nicked away at every little thing I needed to do. And I had that
fish out of that boat.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I did. I had that boat wrapped as well. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it'll be great.
That new boat, I've got it up to about 53, 54.
Nice.
That bass tracker only went about 30. So I'm getting to places in half the time. I mean, now I understand if I was tournament fishing, that'd be a little bit more important, time wise. But I mean, just to, be, out on the lake and it gets too hot, you're ready to come back in. Well, I can be at the boat ramp and, half the time as I normally would be able to. So it's just a real blessing, like I said, and I'm very thankful for it.
It also comes in handy when you're trying to outrun a storm too. Trust me, I know that.
Mm-hmm. That is right.
That is a fact.
Well, congratulations. It sounds like you're definitely blessed to serve.
And on top of all this stuff we've been talking about, now you're getting married.
I am.
And from what I've seen of the video with you and her in it together here recently, seems like a wonderful young lady.
She is. She's a blessing in my life as well. She's settled me down a lot. It's gonna be great time. We actually have a date set for next year, 4/19, and that is, if you're familiar with the Bible verse, Matthew 4:19. It's, the come follow me and I will make you fishermen of men. That actually is that Bible verse as well. And I have that on my, I have it on my boat. I had it on my bass tracker, the verse, wrote out and everything. And I got it on my 903 fishing wristband here. And it was weird. We were sitting in the car or in the truck driving to the restaurant one day or a couple months ago or whatever. And we actually had everything planned out before, but we were driving and she was like, we need to pick out a date, and a lot of women are more into the date needs to be a pattern or a certain, I don't know, 12, 11, 12, or just something, different. Well, she looked over at me and I had my hand on the steering wheel like this. And she said she looked right at that 4/19, that Matthew 4/19. And she just happened to be in the April calendar of 2025. And she said the 19th was a Saturday. And she's like, hey, she said, I think that's a sign, Caleb. And I was like, all right, mark it, put it down. Let's do it. And, but yeah, she's a great lady. And I'm blessed to have her as well. She kind of, she lets me fish. I mean, she lets me, go out and go to these creeks and be gone all day. And she knows I enjoy it and love doing it. And she, I've had a lot of my subscribers complaining that she hadn't been in many videos lately, but I have a good reason for that. She went back to school. She went back to college. She's taken a couple of classes over the past year or so. She's gotten back into it. And she has a full-time job herself. So she has a, full, 8 to 5 or whatever it is, and just for her to try to come with me and do school and her job, on the weekend, she wants to rest. She wants to relax, and I don't blame her. So
I don't blame her at all.
Yeah. So she hadn't been on many videos lately. That proposal video was on my birthday. That was actually the 30th of June. And I had planned that. She didn't know it was happening. Now, we had plans to get married before and everything, but she didn't know when I was proposing. But she didn't know anything about it. And I think I got her pretty good on that one.
I think you did.
But yeah, that video is on the channel. I don't know who would be interested in going to look at it, but that proposal video is on the channel, so it should.
It's a fun video to watch.
I thought it turned out pretty well. I thought it turned out pretty well.
It did.
Scott Woodall says 903 Fishing spent a few days at the Boulder past couple of days. First time on the lake, had a great time, was hoping to run into you for a handshake and a couple of those 903 decals for the boat.
Man, brother, I was on the lake Monday and I was on the lake today. I tell you what, timing. It's all about that timing.
It is. It is. Here's another one. Hey, Caleb and everyone watching and supporting from South Carolina. Thank you so very much.
What's going on, Eric? Eric over there, Local Life Outdoors. He's a moderator on my live streams.
He is. He's in our chat a lot. I watch a lot of his videos. Some great content that he puts out, and enjoy his stuff very well. The thing about these decals, we give a lot of them away. Yeah, I know you do. I know you do. They cost money, but the advertisement that you get off of them, I feel like justifies the end.
Right.
And these people will look at those when they go down the road, and we've had stuff on boats before and different things, and people will wave at you when they go by you on the highway. And when we used to travel and do all that tournament fishing stuff, we had people pull into gas stations when we was filling up just to shoot the breeze with us. And it's a ton of fun when that happens. But if they don't recognize you by your vehicle or your boat or something, most of them won't even know you're there. They have to recognize you by something, even if it's just the decal in your window.
Right. Yeah.
It also isn't too bad when you give somebody a sticker or whatever you're handing out, any of your swag, the smile you bring to a lot of people's faces.
Right. Yeah. Especially
that's
kids.
one of my that's one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
You're right though. I mean, the advertisement from those things, I mean, especially if somebody puts them on their vehicle, you know.
Yeah.
Now, me personally, I've never been the one to put any sticker on my truck. Not just something that lets people know it's me, but just anything. I've never put a sticker on my truck. So, but hey, you know, that's a big thing right now. It's the bumper stickers and all that kind of stuff. A lot of people have stickers, and hey, you're sitting at red light, you're driving down the highway, somebody passes you. I mean, you see it, it's there, and it, I've had a lot of people text me or message me and say, hey man, I just saw you at so-and-so. And I'm like, that wasn't me. I guess, you may have saw a sticker of the 903 fishing, a sticker, but it wasn't me, so they work.
They do. And this is a great one here. Papa 903 watching from Malta, Texas. Proud of you, son.
That is my father.
That is pretty cool right there.
Welcome, sir.
I tell everybody assumes that I, taught myself how to fish and do this. Now over the past couple of years, I have taught myself a lot, but he's the one that started me fishing when I was 4 or 5 years old, so he started it. Let's just put it that way. I tell everybody, if it wasn't for my dad, then I wouldn't be where I am right now.
And I feel that way about my older brother, who passed away recently. My dad was ill most of the time when I was growing up. He had heart conditions, and back in those days, they didn't have technology they got now. And he died when I was at an early age. My brother was just there. I mean, I sat in the front seat of his car, and we'd go out and street race with them hot rods he had, and which led me to do that, of course. But fishing, he had the first boat I ever was in, and his father-in-law was lived on the Mississippi River, and in the summertime I'd go down there, and it cost a 12-pack of beer, and he'd take you out fishing all day.
Right.
And it was well worth it. It didn't make any difference. We had some great times with him, and Mark had always taken me hunting and fishing and things, and and that's what got me into doing the things that I do today. So there's always somebody that is that's responsible for what we do.
That's right. I agree with
Palmetto
you.
Gaming says supporting from South Carolina. Glad to see you in here tonight.
You dropping your dad off a bag of flays every now and then, I hope, Caleb.
Oh, you know what? My dad, he's been in several of my videos. He's about 2 hours north of me.
Okay.
I came down to Tyler to play college baseball and ended up meeting my son's mother and having him. And so I've always tried to stay close to him. And, you know, I have a job here teaching with Tyler ISD. So he comes down when he can. I tell you what, if y'all haven't seen the video, I think it's probably released in April, but he came down and waited for crappie, the spawning crappie, you know. If y'all haven't seen that video, you should go watch it, because he has never felt or done anything like that. You got a 10-foot rod, you got about a foot of line out, and you're sticking that hand tied jig up in those buckbrush trees, and you got a 1.5 pound fish, just bam. I mean, it is something else. But I try to get him down here, you know, at least 4 or 5 times a year, just to do some fishing. And
That's cool.
Sometimes I'll record, sometimes I won't. You know, sometimes I just like going out with my dad. You know, I don't want to have to, I don't want to have to worry about filming and just go out and have fun and just
doing videos is work.
Oh, it is. Oh yeah. People, a lot of people start YouTube, but they don't continue.
Exactly.
They see other people doing it, and of course, hey, I feel like if anybody wants to try it, do it. But they start it, you know, they get a couple videos under the belt, and then it's just like, man, I gotta keep going. Like this doesn't stop. If you want to be successful and you want to grow a brand and you want to do this and that, I mean, you have to be consistent. And that's one thing I preach to a lot of people. They message me, hey man, you got any advice for me? I'm gonna start a channel. Be consistent. I mean, if you want to take it serious and you want to, make something out of it, you don't just want to post a video once every couple of months and like it all depends on how serious you want it to be. And I think let me see, May 13th was my 4th year, and I have never missed a Tuesday video in 4
How
years.
many videos you do in a week now?
Well, in the summer months, June and July, I try my best to stay with 2 a week. Typically crappie is going to be on Tuesdays no matter what. And then that Thursday video is either going to be a bluegill video in the summer, or it's going to be kind of like the boat reveals coming out tomorrow, just kind of that extra video.
Right.
And then in the springtime, spring break, I typically will, in March, I have crappie content and the white bass run. So I typically have all this content built up. So I'll do 2 videos a week as well. But, like Local Life right there says great tip, because I mean, he has a channel over there in South Carolina, and he has some good stuff out there. But at the end of the day, you gotta, I hate to say it, I hate to say you got to rely on other people, but YouTube's got to push it out there for you.
They do have to. If they don't,
you're not going to get in front of new people. And
That's
then
right.
also your your subscribers, and I think my subscribers every single video, because if they didn't like it and let YouTube know they like it, to let YouTube push it out to new people, and then my subscribers share it to their family and friends. And I mean, it's just a whole, it's a 360. It all goes around. What goes around comes around.
That's right.
It's tough, but that consistency is key. If you can't do it, it's tough to grow.
It really is. Scott says minnows in deep water brush was a ticket. Thank you for sharing tips. Had to fight a few of Kathy's off, but blessed some ladies at the marina with the whiskers. So he appreciates your helping with tips and stuff, and I can relate to that.
Oh yeah,
that's really cool. Benoit Fishing Outdoors says they'd love to go to Texas and fish for some of them slabs, crappie, and gar. You don't fish for gar, do you?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I don't. I mean, I have one video where I went out on the Trinity with a guide and had a gentleman win a raffle for a gar trip, and he picked me to go with him. This was about
that's kind of cool.
This was about 3 years ago. We caught some decent gar, 5-6 footers. And then I actually caught my PB blue cat on that trip as well, 31 pounder on rod and reel, and that was fun. We were using cut carp head.
Yeah,
that's what we were using, and yeah, I mean,
carp's real bloody.
Oh yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind, trying to get into that. It's just, once you built your content around crappie and certain species, you kind of just don't want to go do some of that other stuff because it's just not going to get recognized. It's just not going to get watched.
You got to give the audience you built what you want, what they want.
Right. Exactly. That's it. That's big time right there.
That is 100% correct. Local Life Outdoors says it's very hard to produce steady videos while working a full-time job and weather not permitting. And again, that's a fact. It's just the way it is. For those of you that have not been to Caleb's fishing channel, here's his YouTube channel link. Please go check him out, give him a hook set, and watch a couple of his videos. I promise you're going to like it. But we need to get him over that 100,000 mark, and he's within about 2,400. We won't get him that many tonight, but every one of you that go over and subscribe to his channel, I know you're going to enjoy it, number one, and number two, you're going to help a great creator get to the point he needs to be.
And if you're listening to this on the podcast that Lyle puts out every week, just go on over to YouTube and enter 903 Fishing. I just tested it out. He's the first one that comes in. Go ahead and check him out there, everybody.
There you go.
I appreciate that, fellas. I really do.
You're also on TikTok and Instagram. Is it under the same name there, Caleb?
Oh, yeah. Instagram, Facebook, of course, YouTube, and then TikTok. And it's 903 on all platforms. If you type in 903 Fishing, I'm the first one that comes up.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be. I have issues with people trying to do everything that if you come up with something that's clicking for you, whether it be your name or the way you fish or something, everybody jumps on a bandwagon. They got to do it too.
Right.
But if it's yours, it's yours. And that's just the way it is. If you can't come up with an original content, you probably ought to do something else.
You know what I've noticed here recently, and I mean, I had seen it with other creators, but I think it was what's today? Wednesday? Last week I had 4 different people message me like a reel on Facebook, and they said, "Hey man, this person's using your content," and I'm like, "What?" And I go to it, and it's like some foreign.
Oh yeah.
No idea, no clue. And I mean, I have a short on YouTube that's like 4.5 million views, and it's how to rig how I thread my minnows on so bluegill can't just take them off while crappie fishing. Man, I've seen so many people. I guess because it's been seen by so many people, the chances of that happen are greater for that. But I'm telling you, man, people they don't care. They'll steal your stuff and claim it as their own because, a lot of the times it's chest mount, right? So the camera's on your chest, so you really can't see who's behind the camera.
That's right.
There's no face to it. So anybody can post that video and say, hey, hey, look at my video. I mean, of course, if somebody, especially the internet, somebody may not know what that person sounds like. They may not know that's not you, but I've had people send me my videos and other people using it. And I mean, there's nothing really I can do about it. I just tell them to report that page or, just do what you can. But other than that, that's about it.
Well, I believe that YouTube licenses everything is what Creative Commons, I think it's called. So it's open game, and people do exploit that fact. So that's one of the big problems. And and another example, maybe this will give some of you creators some hope. Outdoor Boys, Mr. Luke Nichols. The reason why his channel grew like tenfold in the last year and a half is for that very reason. That's how people started discovering him. So it's not always a bad thing. So just relax, keep your head in the game. It could probably turn out for the best as well. So.
That makes sense.
Yep.
People sharing your content. There you go.
Exactly.
Kind of flat.
I honestly didn't even think about it like that till you just said it. Because when they do see it, they're like, who is this guy? Then you never know. It could turn into something good.
A watermark don't hurt in a corner either. So
I could do that on a lot of my stuff.
Yep.
Now, Meadow Gaming says, I try to do a short every day. I'm a local life outdoor son. Very nice.
Them shorts is a good way to get a bunch of subscribers for sure. They definitely bumps your numbers up. A lot of people have done really well with them. So
I will put a short out every now and then, but in my opinion, you have a shorts audience and then you have a long form.
All right.
And those subs that come in from that short content, they don't watch your long form. So I would almost rather not, I would rather have a sub that's going to watch my videos versus a sub that's not going to watch. That's kind of, hey, and I tell you guys what, YouTube is, y'all ever heard of YouTube purging? YouTube purging subscribers?
Yep.
The closer I get to this 100K mark, I don't know if they're trying to make it be the most realistic sub count as possible or whatever. If they're taking out bots, I don't know what they're doing, but I mean, I'll gain subs every day as well, but I will lose 12 a day.
Wow.
I think they're going in there and they're seeing good because if they're going to send you that plaque at 100K, that silver play button, and do all. I mean, they want you to be legit. And it's not my fault necessarily if bots or fake channels have subscribed, and if they subscribed 3.5 years ago and have never watched a video. I mean, are they really subscribed? So they're doing that to me as well. So
I can't understand why somebody would subscribe to your channel and then not watch your content.
Right. I mean, when I first started, it was, hey man, go subscribe. I know you're not going to go watch, but hey, go ahead, but now it's, if you're not going to subscribe, if you're not going to subscribe, like I understand trying to help me out and stuff like that. But, I put time and effort into all my videos. So I really, really want people to watch, and see if they can gain something out of it.
Well, your videos are entertaining, number one, but you educate people on how to catch more fish. Just like Scott here is saying, threading the minnow was a bomb. First time you try that method and it worked great. Okay, you taught this guy how to do that.
Right.
He is appreciative for it. He used your method. He caught fish. He's thrilled. You're happy. He watched the video. That's how it's supposed to work, isn't it?
Right. That I tell people all the time, that this YouTube journey has been a ride. And, like right now during the summer, views are down. You got people on vacation. They're just not watching. And I'm talking about people that have supported you for a long time that they just may be busy, and they're not doing it on purpose. but it's crazy how it's just everything's slow right now. So we'll just keep on going with it. And every now and then when times are like this, I'm like, man, this is tough. I'm gonna go out and spend 3-4 hours on the water. I'm gonna come back, spend 3 or 4 hours editing, just for a video not to do so well. It's almost like you almost know. And we talked about the creek crappie. Once October hits, that's when everything takes off again.
Yeah, it does. Colder weather works.
Cold,
because a lot of people don't go out and fish.
Yep. People are back inside. They're this, they're that, and that's when I gained probably 75% of my subscribers from October to April.
That sounds right.
May, June, July, and August, September is the slow part of the year. So I know that 100K is going to happen. It's just
it is.
It's just a matter of time, and I just got to keep going. I mean, I can't stop. I mean, I'm invested, I guess you would say. And honestly, local life has a comment right there that says probably 80% of views are from non-subscribers. I wish all would subscribe. I think the last time I looked, I'll look right now, but the last time I looked, I think I was sitting at 84% not subscribed and 16% subscribed. Like that's where my watch hours and everything is coming from. I just find that crazy.
Yeah, I looked at that the other day.
So right now I'm sitting at last 28 days, 80.1% is from not subscribed. So 8 out of 10 people that watch my content are not subscribed. 19.9 are subscribed. But a lot of people, I've come to find out that there are millions of people out there that do not have a Google account. They have the app, they can search, watch whatever they want to, but they do not have an official account. So there's no way for them to subscribe to you. A lot of people won't take the 10-15 seconds it takes to just make a Gmail and be done with it.
It don't take very long.
No, it's very, very quick, but we're going to get there.
You'll get there. A lot of them are watching on television sets too, so they're just flipping back and forth. Yep. And if you're getting 80% views and you're still getting watch hours from it, that means YouTube's pushing your content, which is a good thing. So
to new non-subscribed people.
Yep.
Right? And like you said, another thing that happens is people watch, people come across one of your videos on their homepage, they click it. Well, the next time they get on YouTube, since you clicked on that one video, the next day YouTube recommended a different 903 fishing video to you. So they're sitting there, why do I got to subscribe when it's already popping up on my screen to begin with? So I mean, there's a lot of factors that play into it, and a lot of people don't understand why a lot of YouTubers say like, comment, subscribe, like, comment, subscribe. I mean, it's kind of like a religious thing to do, because a lot of people don't subscribe. It's hard to get people to actually hit that subscribe button. But you know what? We're going to be all right.
And it don't cost a dime to do that.
No.
It don't cost you nothing to be a subscriber.
It does not. It is free.
It is free. A lot of stuff that in this world that's not free, that's not one of them. You can subscribe to everybody's channel, don't cost you a dime. And I have a theory that works for me. If 903 fishing comes up for the first time on my computer and I watch your video and I like it, then I'm going to go click on the 903 underneath there and go to your channel and pick out a couple of others, and I'll watch those. If I like them, I am a subscriber.
Right.
And I'm going to click the bell so then when you make new content, I get to watch it. Now, I do that with a lot of ones. And sometimes I got to watch a few of them before I make up my mind if I want to be a subscriber or not, because I like family friendly channels.
Correct. That makes sense.
And that doesn't mean you can't be off color a little bit, because I get that way.
No.
But I try not to get too far out of hand unless we're talking about politics. Yeah, I will get off on a rant on that once in a while, but you know what I mean.
Mhm.
I think the family friendly channels um, do better, and I think they should do better.
Right. 100%.
Just my theory. So,
River Boss Fishing says, I'm a new sub and I've been enjoying your slab slaying. Definitely. I'm sure he's watching. We got Scott Woodell. Scott says, well, can you read that? It's kind of hard for me to read on my phone.
again, I said, bro, I appreciate all the hard work you put into the channel. I stay in trouble watching the channel. My wife, you're watching 903 again. Yep. Research for the skills. That's a great comment.
Hey, man, that's awesome. That is
It
awesome.
is.
Tell your wife thank you.
Absolutely. For allowing you to do that.
Yeah, that's awesome right there.
Oh man, that's funny. But yeah, there's Pontoon Jody's joined us. It really is. Like I say, there's a lot of people that have family members that do shows with them. A lot of them don't, and either way, it works for me. But if you're a family friendly show, you don't go out busting off a bunch of adjectives or verbs that you probably shouldn't be saying.
Right.
And,
Sure.
and it's going to slip out once in a while. It does on our show. It happens. The
Right.
difference between our shows and what you do is you can edit those out.
Correct.
And I could, but once it's put out there, you can't really take it back, because somebody's already screenshot it or done something to save it. So it is what it is, and I don't want to be that way anyhow. If it come out wrong, then it just come out wrong. We're sorry. Just give us another chance. We'll try to do better.
Papa 903 says, that's why we will, he scrolled up here. That's why we will set a booth and talk with some folks about the channel at some expos or tournaments, etc., just to get the word out. Good idea.
Absolutely. We used to do a lot of that at big tournaments and stuff.
Do y'all do much tournament fishing? Y'all do?
I used to do a lot of it. Lot.
Well, have y'all heard about this Brian Sowers Legacy tournament?
I knew Brian. I knew him when he was alive. Yeah.
Okay. So that tournament is actually on Lake of the Pines. It's about an hour north of me here in Texas. And man, they're talking about first place, $20,000-$30,000. I mean, there's a lot of sponsors. I actually donated. 903 Fishing LLC actually donated to be a sponsor, and I'll have a booth set up there to meet locals and do all that. But man, they're talking about that. So this tournament is actually a tournament that me and my buddy won last year. That picture right there, those are 4 2-pound crappie right there from that tournament. But there was a lot of locals in it last year, and I mean, this year that money is bringing out the big dogs. So I am very, very curious to see how this turns out, because it's going to be very interesting. They're having a dinner on October 4th, and then October 5th is the tournament. They're bringing the big scales out, big stage and all that stuff, and to honor Brian. So I think it's going to be a great event.
Brian was a disc jockey for a radio station about an hour and a half north of me.
Oh, wow.
Maybe 2 hours north of me. And he used to call me up about once a month, and we'd do a radio interview about a tournament we was going to somewhere.
Nice.
Or he would be a guest on Catfish Weekly. That's another show we do. And he would come on there, and we'd talk about different things. That's before Panfish Nation was Panfish Nation. And yeah, Brian was a great guy. He would come to some of the big events at Bass Pro Shop. Of course, I'm 36 miles from Springfield, So Bass Pro Shop's just down the street from me, and I'd see him down there once in a while at big events and different things, and I knew him fairly well. We wasn't best buds or nothing, but whenever he had something big that he needed to get out, he'd get a hold of me, and I'd help him do that. And if I needed to do something locally where he was on the radio all the time, he would help me do that and keep me up to speed on a lot of the crappie fishing stuff. When he got really involved with that.
Oh yeah, he was the announcer for Crappie Anglers of Texas. You know?
Yeah,
so
yeah, he's a great guy.
I never met him personally, mainly because I never fished those tournaments or anything like that. But
right,
I mean, I haven't heard anything but good things. So
nice.
I figured we would go ahead. You know, like I said, that tournament, they kind of Crappie Anglers of Texas kind of took over that. Patterson Pest Control actually hosted it last year, and they kind of just took it over, and all these big companies are donating money and putting it in the prize pot. And I mean, it's gonna be. I'm very curious to see how this turns out. So,
well, keep us posted. I'd like to know how it worked out.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Are you fishing it this year?
Yes, sir.
Good luck.
We're registered, and like I said, I went ahead and donated, became a silver sponsor, and
very cool.
It's a great cause. I mean, it's going to be fun. And, you know, it's a one-day tournament. October 5th is when it is. I mean, they're having they're like sponsors are able to donate product, like rod companies, bait companies, and what they're doing is I don't know the exact detail. I don't want to speak too much of it, but they're basically putting together these little tackle boxes. And I guess Brian had a saying that said, give a kid a tackle box, not an Xbox. Okay. So they're putting together these tackle boxes and they're giving them away to hundreds, potentially thousands of kids in the area. So
it's very cool.
I mean, it seems like a very good, you know, opportunity to, you know, if anybody has any kids around the area, local and stuff, they need to get them over there, get them I think they're giving away free rods and reels, and just, man, you know, everybody's donating to a great cause, and it's bringing crappie fishermen together, fishermen in general. I mean, there's going to be a huge, I don't want to say, well, pretty much kind of like an expo, you know, where all these vendors and everything, they'll have their booths, they'll have their products for sale, and I'll have my booth there with some 903 merch and decals and the whole nine. And I mean, it's just going to be a good old time, it seems like.
Very nice.
Where can people go online to find more information about that? Do you got a place you can direct them to, Caleb?
Yes, sir. It's actually going to be, let's see here.
Maybe you could post a link on your 903 Facebook page.
I mean, it's actually 903 Fishing on Facebook. There's actually a event. If you want to go to the event center, you know what I'm saying, or the event page on Facebook, just type in the search bar, just type in Brian Sowers Legacy Tournament, and they've created a whole Facebook event for it. And there's also, I'm pretty sure there's also a group that goes along with it as well. But I mean, you got people driving from all across the country to fish.
I'm sure there'll be a bunch of Missouri.
They're expecting over 100 boats, may possibly more than that. So, I mean, not only do you have a bunch of locals around here fishing it, but you got some of the bigger names in crappie fishing that will be there. You know, I know Frank Heidesek is going to fish it. Clay Gann is a big time name down here, and I heard maybe Hayden Jeffries is going to fish. So, I mean, we're talking some big names. So
big players.
It's going to be great.
Carter Short is asking, was that a live scope on your new boat? I was doing something, so I didn't hear you say anything about the boat in your latest vid.
Hey, you know what? I actually had a person comment on that video from yesterday. He said, what live scope do you have at the front of there? I've been searching around. I've been looking around. and it's not live scope. Carter started watching my videos recently. It's not a live scope. It's a Humminbird Helix 7, but I have it on down scan with that orange yellowish tone, you know.
What is it? Live imaging, I believe it might be called on Humminbird, Lyle. I'm not quite sure.
No, it's not live imaging at all. It's down scan.
No,
It's
I don't
just
have
straight
scan?
down scan.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
just
down scan.
straight down scan, and I have it
My
at the
bad.
front of the. I have it at the front of the boat on a stand that stick. You know, so I mean, I see where people would think that's live scope, but no, it's not. I have not dove into that. Kind of like what you said earlier, Mark. You know, you got to give the people what they want, the brand that you've built, and I have seen YouTube channels that start off without using live scope, and they go to it, and it hurts them because you started you based your channel off not using it, so that is what your base audience is. The next thing you know, you're using it, and you're not doing much teaching. You're staring at a screen, and I'm not saying that happens to everyone. It does
happen.
But some people can. I've seen some people who can watch that screen and still teach while doing that. But then I've seen some people that go from, fishing without it. They're telling their audience what they're doing, how they're doing it, and just teaching. They get that screen and it's just straight.
Yeah, I've seen channels turn from fishing channels to live scope channels, and there's a difference.
I quit watching a couple of them on account of it.
You're going to alienate. You're going to alienate your fan base, your viewer base, and that's definitely not a good thing. There's a right way and a wrong way to use live scope, and when that's all you're about, then definitely that's the wrong way.
I have a question for you, and I know we're running a little long, but gosh, man, when we get you on here, we hate to turn you loose. If you could tell people one thing, the everybody thinks they want a YouTube channel, and they are a lot of work. To do them correctly, it's like a job, regardless of how much fishing you get to do. It's hard work. But if you could give people one bit of information that would help the hardcore guys do what they think they want to do, what would that be?
Well, I mean, I hate to repeat myself, but I think I kind of went over. My answer to that question would be kind of what we went over with earlier. Consistency. It's hard to be consistent, because I've talked to quite a few people, and they're like they do fishing on their channel, kind of like Arms Family Homestead. I don't know if y'all ever watched them, but I actually was on Daniel Arms came and did a collaboration with me a couple of weeks ago. They don't just do fishing; they do homesteading. He shows people his excavators, and they do a lot of things other than fishing. And we was talking about a fishing channel, and he actually said, he's like, man, there's no way I could have just a fishing channel. He said, you got to worry about the weather. You got to worry about the fish not biting. There's so many factors in having, this is what I do. So I'm going to have a fishing channel, but all of those factors come into play. But at the end of the day, you always got to have a backup as well. If the fish aren't biting, make a video how to set up your rod and reel. There's different things that you can do to incorporate fishing. It doesn't just have to be a video of you catching fish all, for 25 minutes. There's different informative other things that you can do to help people catch fish.
I agree. The other thing, the thing that I tell people, because that bit of information has made the shows that we do what they are, because we're here every week. And a guy told me that when I first started 10 years ago. He said, if you're going to do a show once a week, you got to be there once a week. He said, if you're going to do it twice a week, you got to be there twice a week. Doesn't matter. You got to, when you say you're going to be there, you got to be there.
Whatever your commitment is,
That's right.
I told y'all, 4.5 years, a little over 4 years, I've never missed an upload on Tuesday. We're talking, I've had my computer crash, I've had my hard drive crash, I've had my electricity go out. I go across town to a buddy's town to upload the video for the next day. I mean, I could have just said, you know what, I ain't gonna worry about it. But I said I would have a video out on Tuesday. I want to be a man of my word. I want to do what I said I'm gonna do.
That's exactly right. The other thing, for me, the other thing is be yourself.
Right. Oh, 100%.
Don't try to be somebody you're not. If you are a teacher, so what you do in your videos should come pretty natural.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've been told. That's what I've been told. Some people say I'm a natural at teaching, and I mean that is what I do for a living. YouTube, when it gets to this point, in time, it's like, I mean, YouTube is a full-time job. I will go to school. I'll get up 6 a.m. A typical day for me is get up at 6 a.m. I'm leaving the house at 7. I'll get to school at 7:30. I get out of school about 3:45ish. I'm home by 4:30. I will sit down on the couch and kind of relieve for about an hour or so, and then I come in here and edit for 2 to 3 hours a night, and then I go to bed. I mean, that is a typical day right there. I got to eat in there somewhere, but of course I eat. Y'all already know that, but I mean that is a typical day right there. Just it's a grind. It's a continuous nonstop. And you know what? There are days that I come home from school and I'm like, you know what? I have my videos for the next couple of weeks good. I'm just going to relax. I'm just going to take the night, watch a movie with the fiance, whatever the case may be. I'm just going to take a breath, a long, deep breath here tonight.
Well, it's working for you, bud, and we're all happy that you, making things go like you have, and to reach where you're at in 4 years. That's a pretty amazing to me. So we wanted to have you on here again. I'm so glad you had time to fit us in. It's really hard hey, buddy.
Hello.
How are you?
Hello.
That's my son, Jaden, right there. He
What's up, Jaden?
Turned 12 yesterday.
Yeah, July 16th.
Happy birthday, young man.
Yeah, we got his birthday party this weekend. A little
Gonna be
swimming
fishing?
party.
It's fishing, like the theme is fishing, but it's a swimming party at my grandma's house.
Well, there you go.
Nice.
There you go.
I tell you what, I got a friend of mine that takes and puts bait fish, bluegills, and stuff in his wife's hot tub. Why don't you try that in the swimming pool before everybody gets there? No?
The only problem with that is it's a saltwater pool with chlorine in it. So
Yeah, you better not do that.
Don't do that.
it'll kill them like that once they get it in their gill.
Yeah.
I ain't
Do
gonna
you
worry.
know that spring frogs and tree frogs will survive in that, though?
Really?
Yeah.
We had one in our backyard for the longest time, and my daughter would go out there and catch them because I use them for catfish.
Lyle, I'm reeling you in. You're going to get that young man in trouble.
I'm just saying.
Just-
We couldn't keep them out of it. We
Right.
couldn't keep them out of it. They did. They was in there every time.
If you go out there to my grandma's pool like at night, you can see a few like bullfrogs like kicking their legs. Just,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
there you go.
they can go wherever they want because they ain't got no predators to.
Nope, not unless you jump in there and chase them down.
Wherever they want.
No, they're Cedric.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well,
But
listen,
hey, guys, I really appreciate y'all for having me on. Hey, we don't need as long of a break.
that's right.
In between me coming on, man, because
That's exactly right.
I enjoy talking to you fellas, and
Well, I know that the people
it's a great
watching
conversation.
enjoy listening to you, and you give us some great content. We're very happy to have you. So I think that we should do this at least once a year.
Sounds good.
for sure,
Because it's been longer than that by far.
right.
It's
It's
been
been
a
a while.
Yeah, but we'll do it again and get set up and thank you so much for spending your Wednesday evening with us. And you could be watching Republican National Convention. Who knows?
In Texas, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I bet that. Well, listen, thanks again. have a great birthday party this weekend, Caleb. Congratulations on all the
Congratulations.
stuff you got going with getting married, a new boat, and reaching 100,000. I know it's just right around the corner for you.
It is.
And we'll stay in touch and get you back on here real soon.
All right. I appreciate you guys.
All right.
Always a pleasure, Caleb. Thank you very much.
All right, Mark. All right, Lyle.
Thank
Y'all have a good
you.
one.
Okay. Thanks everybody for watching Catfish or Panfish Nation. We'll see you next Wednesday night.